¿Cómo es posible que la UFC quisiera eliminar al mejor peleador de la historia?
Best ever in MMA?
Demetrius Johnson is probably right now the best
Ever.
The best ever, yeah, I agree.
But it's technique though, is also. That's where I get so. When I see him doing the things, like kicks like a fucking Thai dude.
Demetrius Johnson, oh my good, he is so damn good. He is so damn good. It's hard to top it. This is a video game character, guys.
Who's the greatest fighter you ever saw? Your opinion only.
It's hard to say, but it might have been Mighty Mouse. Because when Mighty Mouse was in his prime, he was so magnificent. He was so fast, and he was doing things that you couldn't believe.
Cuando preguntan a la UFC, ni siquiera mencionan su nombre.
What fighters are on your top 5 all-time UFC list? John Jones. Anderson Silva.
Like we said, again. Front kicked him in the face. Salute.
Ronda Rousey. Conor McGregor.
Relax, smiling.
Champion of the GSP.
Vamos al UFC 197, donde Henry Cejudo tiene que salvar la división de peso mosca de su mayor amenaza, Demetrius Johnson.
And I hope he has his best camp ever. Him to be at his peak.
One excuse I've ever made in my whole entire life. Ever.
La UFC y los medios acusan a Demetrius Johnson de ser aburrido y de vender poco.
But I also feel like, you can do a lot more to market yourself and also to take certain fights and be that guy that's going to go out there and fight whoever it is.
DJ is by far the most active champion in the UFC. Now, you have to have it. There's more to just being good to getting pay-per-view and everything else.
There's a lot of things that maybe he could do in between fights to help promote himself. And I think the UFC as well. I think both of them are at fault. I think they could both do things to promote each other and get Demetrius to be the star that he should be. People want to see fight that they're not quite sure what's going to happen. And with the rest of his division, what he's done, and with the the level of the rest of the competition at flyweight, it's not going to happen. We all know Demetrius is going to walk through that.
Incluso el mismo Dana White amenazó varias veces con eliminar la división.
We've been talking about shutting down the flyweight division for about 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He has the lowest selling pay-per-view in the history of the UFC in the modern era. So we're not marketing him right. We built a TV show around him. We put him on Fox many times and tried to build him, and it is what it is. It's not me.
Mientras esto está pasando con la división de peso mosca y Demetrius Johnson, hay un hombre que arrasa con la UFC.
Here he is.
Does this mic work? Well then, that mic. What you gonna do? Or what? You gonna do something over there? Be careful. Shut your mouth. I love New York. Look at everybody up here. They're all dressed like me. They're all trying to talk like me. They're all trying to be me. Everyone in the game wants this fight. This is the lottery fight. The notorious Conor McGregor weighs in at a ready one.
That's a wrap. Conor.
Gives up. The Irish are back. I love New York City. And without me, this whole shit sinks.
Presenting the pride of Ireland and the #3 featherweight fighter in the world, the notorious Conor McGregor!
From Dublin, Ireland, the reigning, defending 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor!
La gente ya no solo busca buenos peleadores, busca entretenimiento, busca drama, un show. Lo importante es vender. Conor es lo contrario a Demetrius Johnson.
What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. We have another video breakdown. As always, my favorite street beef. Okay, that's good.
Oh, Dad, look at this. Dad, look at this giant shark.
Whoa.
All right, here we go.
Hey, what the fuck?
You think that shit's funny? You think that shit's funny?
God, no, please give me one more chance to get out
Para
of
poder
here.
entender por qué Demetrius no hace lo que hace Conor para poder vender más, hay que conocer su historia.
I had an abusive stepfather who was, military based. When kids are being disobedient, not listening, and you get frustrated, and there's a way that you take to restore order. Putting us in the corner for 15 minutes, getting whipped. My stepdad took a different route of raising us and abusing us. That was his choice. I can look at it as a negative, but I always look at it as a positive. It makes me a better father because I don't want my children to suffer the same thing.
Because of the adversities that he's gone through, it's definitely formed him and shaped him into who he is now.
I was raised by my mother who's deaf, and when we were being raised, she told us to always look her in the face when we talk. That way she can read our lips. I didn't realize it until my sister told me that, like, hey, mom's deaf, right? And I was like, no, she's not. And I was like, yes,
Al
I'm
conocer
deaf.
su historia ya podemos entender por qué Demetrius tiene un carácter más calmado. Quiere ser un ejemplo dentro y fuera de la UFC, para su familia y para sus hijos. Pero volvamos al UFC 197, donde Demetrius se enfrenta a Henry Cejudo. Se podría decir que la UFC e incluso la gente quiere que Demetrius pierda el reinado que tiene en la división. Pero Demetrius consigue noquear a Henry Cejudo en el primer asalto, consiguiendo así una victoria muy clara y mantener su cinturón. La tensión entre la UFC y Demetrius Johnson va en aumento.
The media claims he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Right. I think Conor McGregor is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Intentan hacer que pelee contra TJ Dillashaw, que está en una división superior.
I think that a fight between him and TJ Dillashaw would be something that people would actually be interested in and could sell pay-per-views and could make money, but he absolutely refuses to fight the guy. It's ridiculous.
People want to see super fights, and this is a super fight. TJ being the former champion at 135 pounds and doing what he's done in the UFC, I think that's a fight that a lot of people want to see.
At the end of the night, we know he's going to get his hand raised. In a Dillashaw fight, you don't know. We all want to be involved in the unknown.
Pero finalmente la pelea no salió adelante y Demetrius siguió reinando en la división. Y Henry Cejudo consiguió su revancha en el UFC 227.
I want to fight for the title. It's on. Let's go. Next time we step in octagon. Break it!
It's been 2 years. It's been a little over 2 years since I fought Demetrius. Finding somebody that defeats you, it's extremely special to me.
Y esta vez consiguió la victoria que tanto deseaba. Fue una pelea muy igualada que llegó a los 5 rounds, pero los jueces dieron la victoria a Henry Cejudo.
You are now the UFC flyweight champion of the world.
Después de esto, Demetrius Johnson dejó la UFC y se fue a la organización One Championship, a cambio de Ben Askren.
Demetrius Johnson just left the UFC and went over to ONE FC. ONE FC, for people who have no idea what we're talking about, is a gigantic organization in Asia. They are literally the equivalent to the UFC in Asia. And although many people in America are not aware of them, they don't know who they are, they're a huge organization overseas. Absolutely gigantic, and they do a fantastic job. They have real high-level fighters. Ben Askren was their champion. He was undefeated over there, and he had, I think, at least one fight, maybe 2 fights left in his contract. I forget how many. And they made a deal, and the deal was they take Mighty Mouse, and we get Ben Askren. And so that's where it's at right now. I love the deal. I love it. I love the idea of it. I mean, I feel like Mighty Mouse, he loves the idea of starting new in a new organization. He also likes the mentality that organization is operated with, which is respect for the martial arts. They're not into this, what we saw with the Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, all the trash talking and all the stuff that you're seeing that was becoming more and more prevalent in the UFC. You don't see that at all at ONE FC, and that's something that Mighty Mouse is very happy.
Demetrius Johnson ha conseguido tener una muy buena carrera hasta el día de hoy en la organización One Championship. Ha tenido momentos muy épicos como las peleas contra Adriano Moraes. En la segunda pelea le ayudó a entrenar nada más y nada menos que Henry Cejudo, con el cual ahora tiene una muy buena amistad. La trayectoria de Demetrius en One Championship merece ser hablada en otro vídeo. Si os ha gustado el vídeo, no olvidéis suscribiros y darle a me gusta. Un saludo.
The GOAT, the greatest of all time.